Good morning, friends.
No.
Today we're going to read some more of our chapter book. This is the 5th Magic Tree House book, and it's called Night of the Ninjas. The author is Mary Pope Osborne. Let's review. Yesterday, Jack and Annie went back to the woods and the tree house was back. They found a little mouse in the tree house. Annie's calling him Peanut. They also found a note from Morgan, and it said she was under a spell and needs them to find 4 things. They found an open book, and the book had a picture of trees with flowers on it, and it also had pictures of ninjas on the cover. So Annie decided they needed to go right away to help Morgan. They pointed to the picture, and the treehouse started to spin. We don't quite know what happened yet. The title of our book is Night of the Ninjas. So far, our characters are Jack, Annie, and the mouse. We started out in the woods, so we put that as one of our settings. Let's review the parts of the book. Front cover, back cover, spine, and title. Front cover, back cover, spine, and title. Front cover, back cover, spine, and title. These are the parts of a book. Let's get started. We read 2 chapters yesterday, so let's start with chapter 3 today. Chapter 3, Ayah! Jack opened his eyes. Annie was already looking out of the window. The mouse peeked out of her pouch. Jack looked out the window too. The air was fresh and cool. The treehouse was in a tree with white flowers. The tree was in a grove of trees on the side of a mountain. Nearby, a wild stream rushed downhill. 2 ninjas were standing on rocks near the water. They were staring at the valley below. One ninja was tall, the other was short. They wore black pants and shirts. They had black scarves around their heads and swords strapped to their backs. It was exactly like the picture in the book. Jack crouched below the window. "Be careful," he whispered. "Don't let them see you." "Why not?" Annie whispered back. "They might think we're some kind of enemy," said Jack quietly. Annie crouched beside him. Jack pushed his glasses into place. Now he was going to look at the ninja book. He picked up the book. He turned to the beginning. He read, "Very little is known about shadowy warriors called ninjas. Historians believed that ninjas lived in Japan between the 14th and 17th centuries. Both men and women were ninjas. Sometimes they fought to protect their families. Sometimes warlords hired them to be spies." "Wow," whispered Jack. "We're in Japan, hundreds of years ago." Jack opened his backpack. He pulled out his notebook and pencil. He liked to take notes. He wrote, "Ninjas were warriors in old Japan." "Jack," whispered Annie, "they're looking up. I think they know we're here." Jack peeked over the windowsill. His eyes met the dark eyes of the tall ninja. "Ayah!" the ninja cried. He dashed toward the tree. The other ninja followed. "Oh no," said Annie. "We've got to go," said Jack. "Where's the Pennsylvania book?" He and Annie looked around wildly. But where was the book about Pennsylvania? It had the picture of the Frog Creek woods in it. Jack and Annie couldn't get home without it. "It's not anywhere," cried Annie. "We've got to do something fast," said Jack. "Pull up the ladder." He and Annie grabbed the top of the rope ladder. They pulled the ladder into the treehouse, but the tall ninja leaped at the tree trunk. Then he started climbing up the tree. The short ninja followed. They climbed just like cats. Jack and Annie huddled in a corner. The ninjas climbed into the treehouse. Neither one made a sound. Chapter 4, Captured. The ninjas pulled iron bands off of their hands. The bands had spiked claws on them. That's how they climbed the tree, Annie whispered to Jack. The ninjas stared at Jack and Annie with dark, piercing eyes. The rest of their faces were covered by the scarves. Jack felt frozen under their stares. Annie wasn't frozen, though. She stepped right up to them. "Hi," she said. The ninjas didn't say hi back. They didn't move at all. They were as still as Jack. "We're trying to help our friend Morgan," said Annie. She held up Morgan's note. The tall ninja took the note from her. He looked at it, then he gave it to the short ninja. The two ninjas stared at each other. Then they looked back at Jack and Annie. Finally, the short ninja nodded once. He put the note in the pocket of his shirt. "Can you help us?" Annie asked. Neither ninja spoke. Jack wished he could see their faces. He couldn't tell what they were thinking. The short ninja tossed the rope ladder back out of the treehouse. The tall one pointed down the ladder. Then he pointed at Jack and Annie. Uh-oh, thought Jack. Were they being captured? "Us? Go with you?" said Annie. The ninja nodded. "Oh, boy," said Annie. "Oh, boy, is she nuts?" wondered Jack. The short ninja darted down the ladder. He went hand over hand. His feet didn't touch the rungs of the ladder at all. The tall one did the same. Jack gasped. The ninjas moved very fast. They were like spiders dropping from webs. "Wow," said Annie. "Now's our chance to leave," said Jack. "Quick!" He looked around the treehouse. Where was that Pennsylvania book? "Let's go with them, Jack," said Annie. "No, this isn't a game," said Jack. "But I think they know something about Morgan," said Annie. She started down the ladder. "Come back," said Jack. But it was too late. Jack sighed. "Why does this always happen?" he asked himself. "Come on, Jack," came Annie's voice from below. Jack put his notebook and the ninja book into his pack. He pushed his glasses into place, and he started down the ladder. Jack joined Annie and the ninjas on the ground. The sun had fallen behind the hills. The sky was streaked with red and gold. The mouse peeked out from Annie's sweatshirt pouch. "Don't be scared, Peanut," Annie whispered. "We'll take care of you." Great, thought Jack, but who's going to take care of us? The short ninja held Jack's arm in one hand and Annie's arm in the other. He led them through the twilight. The tall ninja walked behind them. "Where are we going?" Jack asked. The ninja stopped near the rushing water of the wide stream. The water roared as it raced down the hill. The short ninja looked at Jack and Annie. He let go of their arms, then he pushed them toward the stream. "You want us to cross it?" shouted Annie. The ninja nodded. Then he and the short ninja stepped into the wild stream. They started wading across. "Let's run back to the treehouse," said Jack. "No, we have to follow them," said Annie, "for Morgan's sake." Jack took a deep breath. She was right. Annie grabbed Jack's hand. Together they stepped into the water. "Yikes!" they both screamed and jumped out. It was the coldest water Jack had ever felt. It was colder than ice. It felt so cold. It was so cold it felt like fire. "I can't go back in," said Annie, shivering. "Me neither," said Jack. "I'll have a heart attack." The ninjas looked at Jack and Annie. Then they turned and came back. The tall ninja grabbed Jack. "Help!" Jack cried, but the ninja lifted Jack high into the air and put him on his shoulders. The short ninja put Annie on his shoulders. Then the two ninjas stepped into the stream again. The icy, wild water swirled around them. It went up to the short ninja's waist. But the ninjas moved through the stream as calmly as two sailing ships. Chapter 5, Flames in the Mist. The water grew shallow again. Then they were on dry land. The ninjas lowered Jack and Annie to the ground. Thanks, said Annie. Thanks, said Jack. Squeak, said the mouse. The ninjas said nothing, but they looked around. Jack looked around too. A full moon was rising in the sky. Dark rocks dotted the side of the mountain. Then the ninjas started moving. They went silently up the slope between the rocks. Jack and Annie followed them. Jack wasn't afraid of the ninjas now. In fact, he was starting to like them. Maybe they could really help find Morgan. The ninjas moved silently, but Jack and Annie made plenty of noise. They panted as they climbed the rocky hillside. Their wet sneakers made squishy sounds. Suddenly, the ninjas froze. Jack could see their eyes darting around. Voices were coming from the valley below. Jack saw torches flaming in the mist. The ninjas started moving faster. Jack and Annie hurried after them. Who's carrying the torches? Annie asked. Jack was too out of breath to speak. He also didn't have an answer. They came to a pine forest. Night birds called out. Wind rattled the branches. The ninjas moved like ghosts through the forest. They appeared and disappeared through moonlit shadows. Jack and Annie struggled to keep up. Finally, the ninjas came to a stop. One ninja held out his hand as if to say, "Wait." Then both ninjas stepped away into the shadows of the trees and were gone. "Where did they go?" said Annie. "I don't know," said Jack. "Maybe the book can tell us." He pulled out the ninja book. He turned to the pages until he came to a picture of a cave. By the light of the full moon, he read, "Sometimes ninjas held meetings in hidden caves to plan secret missions." "Oh man," said Jack, "I bet they went inside a hidden cave." He pulled out his notebook and pencil. He wrote, "Meetings in hidden caves." Jack turned the page. He stared at a picture of a ninja sitting on a mat. He read, "Ninjas took orders from a ninja master. The master was a mysterious, wise person who knew many secrets of nature." "Wow," whispered Jack. Just then the two ninjas returned. Jack quickly put his books away. The short ninja motioned for Jack and Annie to follow. In the shadows was the dark entrance of a cave. "What's in there?" Annie whispered. "The ninja master," Jack whispered back. That's it for today, friends. We'll pick up tomorrow and find out what Jack and Annie find in the cave. Maybe they'll find the ninja master. Let's review our book map. Our title, Night of the Ninjas. Our characters, Jack, Annie, the mouse, and now we have the ninjas. So let's add the ninjas. Where? We started out in the woods and now we're in old Japan. When is old Japan as well? We're on a mountain right now. And we're also going into a cave. So we'll pick up with chapter 6 tomorrow and find out what happens to Jack and Annie. Bye, friends. See you tomorrow.